Okay, so we have some things going on this week. One of those things is clocking the gear drive on the winch so that this handle will be on the top when I'm bolting the winch to the front face of the bumper that I made like 20 years ago for another person. I just recently found this on Facebook Marketplace and bought it back, and about the same price, so it didn't really, over the 20 years, didn't really exchange any profit or loss. But I don't have that business anymore. And so I've got to make a few modifications to it because I built it off the original silver straight axle swapped Sportage, and apparently the frame might have been a little wonky on that one. So I've got to make some changes to the mounts, which you see there in the center. Got to cut some parts off and maybe widen up the holes so that they fit the new frame on this one. And then I got to widen up the full stance of the bumper just like a half an inch or a little more. And so I'm going to cut it right where these uprights go into the top piece there, and just kind of push this piece down a little bit or forward so that it spreads out just a hair so that it goes around. Because when I built it off the 95 Sportage, the grill did not dip below the headlight garnishes trim that you see there under the headlights. The grill stopped right at that line. So these ends, these edges of the bumper right here would never have hit the grill, but on this bumper they do. So I've got to make them a little wider, and then I've got to maybe even grind them back a little bit just to go around that low hanging portion of the bumper. And let's see if we can zoom in there. Maybe even a little more. You see how that corner of the grill hangs down just a little bit past, it's about 3/4 of an inch, just about, really. So anyway, I got to get them around that. And I don't think it'll be difficult, but cut this piece right there and then spread these out a little bit, re-weld it into place, and it should be good. And then the other issue is these main holes that go into the frame. They're a little too close together. When I try to fit up the bumper, it runs into these uprights. These mounts run into these uprights rather than going to the outside of them. So that we got to fix, and then mount the winch face or feet into the center of the bumper. And then and I had to re-drill the holes because when I originally built it, the Harbor Freight fair lead was some kind of like cast iron, and it had the holes offset down low. So that's where I originally drilled all the holes. But I can only fit this one. I'm not going to cut a new hole for the winch line to come out. So I had to re-drill these holes 5/8 of an inch higher in the bumper, and that part's already done. The rest of it, about to get on it right now. Oh, sorry about that. The camera got some metal dust on it when I was doing all the grinding, so I ground through that joint. Wait, can you see that? Yeah, right there. Ground through that joint on both sides. Hey, come on, focus. What is up with this thing? There we go. Focus. There. And then also through these joints. Come on. Right there. So that I can spread this out and re-weld it. Phew, focus problems. Okay, so that'll allow me, and I actually just pushed them down a little bit. I pushed the wings of the bumper down a little bit, spread them out. So then that's going to move this out a little bit wider, and these out a little bit wider, so they'll actually go to the edge of the fender flares, because as they were about half an inch, 3/4 of an inch in. Because when I built the original, I didn't have fender flares on the old Sportage. So that's as far as the measurements went. But now, so we're gonna get this done. Trying all kinds of stuff. Now I'm cutting, scoring across the front so that maybe it'll bend enough so that I can get, close that gap, basically. So I'm scoring. Here, let me turn. Yeah, check this out. Okay, so I'm scoring it in the front here, hoping that I can kind of spread this out, spread this side out, and close up that gap right there, so that and then I can re-weld it. Hoping. We'll see. Ends of the bumper out a little. I've already gained well over an inch, probably about an inch and a half. Just getting these tips out towards 64 inches. So we're doing okay, I think. Not totally, but we'll get there, I think. I was bored last night, and I got around to wiring up the winch box, control box. Basically, I just put in 4-foot long wires so I can bring the control box up under the hood. Tools are a mess again. Painted a whole bunch of stuff, including the ball joint spacers and new ball joints, all the nuts and bolts that go to the winch, and the bracketry. Well, not the bracket itself. Let's see. And then bumper got painted again. And right now I'm doing the fit up on the brackets. Hopefully everything is aligned so that these will fit very well. Had to make a little spacer underneath it, and then also the original tube. Oh, that's probably way too close. I can't see my screen too good right now, but anyway, spacer up underneath the bracket plus the tube to keep that from crushing. I got to drill these holes over here and one more up in top here. I'm not sure I'm going to do this one just yet, but I got the winch control box mounted. It's just kind of loosely mounted in there. It's not permanent, but I need to make a stiffer bracket to loop over it and hold it down. Got the wires coming out through here, probably do like zip tie, hold them together or something. I also had to go and do some modification to my fan shroud, as the piece here was just plastic and it's breaking off. So had to attach a couple of flat plates. I had this one already holding on to the plastic piece and screwed in to the metal down under here, but I ended up having to put two of these just to make sure it doesn't rip through, because this is all soft plastic. It's like ABS or something. Let's see, what else nothing else under here, but next, after I'm done with the winch reinstall, is going to be the valve cover gasket again. And then I have a nasty popping noise in the back suspension. I think it is the Heim joints, so I will be changing those out as well. And it's time crunch, man. It's going to Moab shortly, and the time crunch is real. I mean, it's real. So hopefully I can get it all done. Okay, so all the work that I did to widen up the bumper to get it around the sides of the grill actually stretched the wings of the bumper out so far that now when it's up in place, there's actually a gap here, when before it used to rest far back under there. So not only that, if I go ahead and work to shorten the brackets a little bit so that I could slide the bumper back a little to take up those gaps, then the winch is now going to connect with this sheet metal cross member behind here. Hang on, let me see if I can lighten this up a little bit. You see this sheet metal back here? The winch is already going to touch that. Now, if I move the face of the bumper back by shortening these in order to fill in that gap, the bumper or the winch will be much more into that sheet metal cross member, and I'll have to cut quite a bit of it out. So every tiny little change that you make in the process of making something fit properly can cause lots and lots of other changes to happen. There was one more thing I forgot to mention. On the bracket where let me get my screen out here, where I was talking about how I had to put that spacer up there. You see that silver on above the square piece? That silver, it's a 1/4 inch spacer, 3/16, something like that. And that was to get the bracket flat. In doing that, now none of the mounting holes will line up when the bumper is touching the body, even if it's not touching the body. So I gotta figure that one out too now. Fun stuff. I may actually, just for the trip to Moab, I may go ahead and put the old bumper mount back on. Only thing is, I threw away the plastic cutouts for the wings, which is fine for this side because that's where I had the winch control box mounted. But now that it's in there, that's going to be fine. It's just going to show the body mounts, part of the frame sticking out. So that may be what I need to do just for this trip, because it's going to be a lot more work to get this bumper to work. The only other option to fill in those gaps, which the gaps are the part that I hate the most, would be to fill in this with more steel. And I don't know that I want to do that. Well, as you can see, I have failed to complete the old bumper. Hang on, let me get my ND filter. There we go. I have failed to complete the old bumper and get it on the truck. It is still sitting here, and that is because there are some unfortunate issues that occurred once I widened up the wings on it. I think I might have mentioned that previously, but I don't know. Just getting this last bit before we go to Moab so that I can give you this little update in the video. But we're packing up. I got one more thing to do today to the truck before we go that is necessary, and then we're heading out.